Mickey is going, he's more knowledgeable about the older stuff, like going back to 2001 and things. And I can remember the time when Declaration came out.
Yeah,
And it changed like it changed something in my brain, and I was like, "Oh, I like this." Then
thank you.
changed me as a person, and shaped my taste in music going forward. But yeah, no. So Mickey knows more about the old stuff, but with the hiatus and everything, it was a really a pleasant surprise to see that you guys were coming out with new music in February,
Yeah,
and I was just so stoked. Um, how has that been going back into the studio after seven years?
yeah, we did. I mean, it wasn't really like a hiatus. We didn't really after we put Level Kill All out. That was kind of like our hiatus point was like going into that record. Um, we hadn't done anything period in like 4.5, almost 5 years. This time, like after Level Kill All, like we were really just like kind of hitting a groove, and then COVID happened, and then that kind of just like tested everybody and tested everybody all over the world. You know what I mean? And it's just like one of those things where we never knew if we'd ever come back after that. And then when this a couple years into or a year or so into COVID, we just decided like this is we need to keep doing this. And I think that whole experience of maybe not knowing if you'd ever play music live again, you know what I mean? Because there's so much uncertainty in the world, um, and sort of thinking that relationships that you've made for so many years might go away forever. That's something that like, maybe at least for the core of Bleeding Through really kind of held us together and made us a little bit stronger. So I feel like when we started playing music and started getting in the studio to release some singles through like 2001, 2021 to 2024, it was a different approach for this band. I think that we had a little bit more of like we felt like we needed to make a statement a little bit. And I think this new record is totally a statement because it's one of those things where like bands can come back all the time, or they go away, they come back, they go away, they come back. It's just kind of the nature of the game now with bands. Um, but sometimes when bands come back, it's like a crappy version of like what they used to be, and I get really disappointed when I see a band that's been around for like 20 plus years, and then all of a sudden they're like putting out new music, and then you hear it and you're just like, this just sounds like you're out of touch trying to play your old music like, still to me. And then when you see a band live that's been around forever, it's like they don't fucking move around anymore. They're just fat and out of fucking gas, and they're fucking performance suckers as well. And that's something that like we take very fucking serious. So like we knew that this record had to be like, we put a lot of our soul into this record just to make sure, like, if this was the first record that people were hearing full length in like 7 years, that it be the most true representation of what our band is and how we've progressed over the years. And I think that we did that.
You absolutely did. It was a phenomenal album. You touch on quite heavy topics, heavy societal
Mm-hmm.
um issues. Is that indicative of how it is over there in the US or just in the world in
Yeah.
general?
I mean, I think the world in general is very like, I mean, we're fucked. Like humanity is fucked. Like we are losing the ability to interact with one another on a human
Mm.
level. Um, I could dive straight into this. There's just little things like instead of having relationships with a real person, people are creating them. It's like we're watching old Arnold Schwarzenegger movies about the future, and it's all fucking coming to like fruition. It's fucking crazy and scary, but it's also creating this space with people where no one is ever totally fucking happy with themselves because there's always someone shoving it in their face in your face that they're just a little more happy than you and have like a better life than you. And everybody's stacking these fake fucking realities and people are just believing it. It's like a fake volcano. And it's like, I struggle a lot with that because of like my mental health. So it comes from that perspective on how I'm one of these people that I'm such a competitor and I'm such like sort of a fighter in my life that I do want progress. And I do see people and say to myself, how do I get to that point? Which I don't really want that, but my mind triggers that approach. And really, it's been a big hurdle in my life. And it closed me off to a lot of relationships and just a lot of like normalcy in my life because I always felt like it was just like this weird competition in life. Now it's like I don't give a fuck anymore. Like it's sort of one of these things like, but we do live in a fucking total, like the only pandemic in our world right now is what we hold in front of us. It really is. And we believe fake reality. And we look at these people that have, no, they have 1 million followers. It's like they could be 1 million fake followers, but they're believing it. So you're believing it. And it's just like, holy shit. Like everybody watching this right now, I'm sure even if you have 20 followers, you've received a DM from somebody saying, we can get you. We've all got that. It's all fake fucking
Yeah.
bullshit. And it's, and we just live in a fake bullshit society in all realms, in all countries. And it's sad. And the overall lyrical theme of this record is about fighting through your fucking mental block in your life and also finding a true kind of like life in society, like being okay with being okay with yourself, being okay with the people in your life that love you, being okay with what you do for a living. You know what I mean? Like just taking pride in what you have like now. And that's what like a song like Path of Our Disease, like that song is about just everybody's just saying, follow me to these fucking the shortcuts, the secrets, the way of life. This is how you should live. You should do this and that. And it's just leading us to fucking nowhere because the people that are telling us those things don't give a fucking shit. You know what I mean? So once you start realizing these dickheads that you follow on social media that are saying, if you're not making $1 million, you have a million excuses. Fuck those people. That's toxic shit. You know what I mean? So this record is a toxic cleanse, I feel like, for in general, just the way that it came out, the way that it sounds like, even though we've been a band for 25 years, it sounds like a new, like a first record onto the scene. You know what I mean? Like this is our first statement. It's like, that's how I felt with Declaration too. That was like a statement record. So I don't know. I went off on this whole tangent. I'm sorry about that.
That's cool.
No, you're absolutely fine. You're really interesting. Such in-depth answers. It's really lovely
Yeah.
because so some of the younger bands they can it's like herding cats.
Yeah.
They're so all over the place trying to get their say in as quickly as possible. I try
Yeah.
and as someone that reviews a lot of underground bands and things like that, I try and give them the space to no, it's all right. You will all have a turn.
For sure.
So yeah, no, it's really nice to get such in-depth answers instead of them trying to talk over each other. Do you have
Well, no
any
worries, man.
do you have any advice that you would give to up and coming bands to as you have
I would
been on the scene for
number
so long?
Yeah, number one thing, and it's the thing that ruins a lot of bands, especially like bands from like our era, was just leave the competition behind. Like worry about your fucking band. Don't worry about what band's got what tours and why not me. Why not me, and living like operating your band based on like jealousy and like keeping score, you're never going to be fucking happy. You're never going to be satisfied. So just be happy with the fact that you're playing your music with your band and you have the opportunity to play shows and some bands have the opportunity to see the fucking world. What more do you need? Like other
Yeah.
than that, like think about brass tacks when you start a band and all you wanted to do was just play music. You never thought that, like we never thought that you could make a living off of it. But start thinking that way. Start thinking about why we do this and look at the things like, this happens often. You go to a city somewhere and you think you're so happy about your show. And then all of a sudden you'll run into some dickhead that just goes, oh, well, I saw this band and they had more people than that. That crushes bands. It does. But the sooner we kind of like don't give a fuck, like that's them. This is us. We can't control that. We can control what's right here. And tonight was fucking awesome. And we are happy with what was there. Because are 30 more people going to make you that much happier? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you a story. We played in Manchester once. And this was like 2000 and fuck, like 2007, maybe. And we played a show. And I remember there being like the venue held like 800 people. And I remember like there being 790, let's just say 790 people. And I was so disappointed that it didn't sell out, that it almost ruined the whole experience. Like, I totally went off it, like, haven't I? Like, honestly, like, I couldn't even see how amazing that moment was for us. And who gives a fuck? Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, little statistics and little things that validate your bands, they don't really validate your bands because eventually it's not gonna fucking matter. So make it not matter now. That's my advice. Play your music and just be happy with whatever the fuck you have going on. Be happy for the opportunity.
That's brilliant advice. Mikki?
Yeah, so obviously you're quite passionate. It seems like you're quite passionate about how, with kind of new upcoming bands, you're kind of saying focus on yourself. With
Yeah.
the way that the music industry is going, again, kind of going back on the shortcuts as well. What's your opinion on these people that are doing AI music or getting AI artists in to do the cheap album art? What's your opinions on that these days? That's kind of coming a lot more prevalent now.
It just, in one respect, I feel like it just takes a lot of the artistic out of what we do as being an art. But I'm not gonna. I remember back when I started recording records. No, like, I remember when we first started recording records, and then you were recording on tape. Okay, and then bands were segueing to like Pro Tools and like more of a like an interface type fucking thing. And I remember we did that, and bands were like, "Oh my god, they recorded Pro Tools like this fucking cheating band and this and that and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, now you can't even fucking record anything on tape anymore. And yeah, auto tune. Remember how much of a cheat that was? Oh my god, this band uses auto tune. You, if you find one fucking band that doesn't use it now, then please be my guest and let me know what band that is, and I'll give them a fucking pat on the back. You know what I mean? Now, I embrace technology, but I'm also cautious of technology. And I think it could go a little bit too far. Now, I'll say this: if whatever my scene and my world and my tribe and whatever bleeding through is in, I don't think that's a scene that is the same as like AI generated scenes. I don't know if I mean, you guys are fans of music. It's weird that there's still, like, just take metalcore in example. And I'm going off on a thing. There's like 4 different pockets of metalcore bands that don't even know about each other, and it's weird. It's like I was on Spotify and I forget what band it was, but it was like their genre was metalcore, and I'm like, no, what? Like, there's no fucking way. Like, what? This is not metalcore to me. This was like, I don't know. But then there's a whole thing on Spotify. I went through this whole thing going back to AI. It's like we went on this tangent of going on Spotify and just listening to AI playlists and like studio musicians, people that have never even been in an actual band, but have written like the sickest studio stuff and all that shit. And it's a completely different scene. So it's like, for me, I don't really need to worry about that in my like kind of world, but I'm not going to shit on if that's another outlet for people to get their music out and what they feel comfortable, how to write it. If that's their art, then let that be their art. Do I think it is not very artistic? Yes, I don't think it's very artistic, but there's talent going in there somewhere. You know what I mean? And there's some sort of artisticness going in there somewhere. So I'm not going to say like I hate it, but like I kind of hate it.
Absolutely. I
I'm
mean,
not full hatred, but I'm just like, dude, like, I hope there's a certain level where it doesn't take away from the live experience of people watching bands. You know what I mean? And it's like, I meet too many people now that even at Bleeding Through shows that are like, I've never been to a show before, but they're like 20 years old, like, and I've been into this music for so long. Like, why didn't you go to shows? I don't know. I just don't. It's like that culture is changing too, you know?
I I find it quite interesting. It depends what they're using AI for, because it's so many times I will come across a band biography that is using all the keywords that ChatGPT loves to use.
Yeah. Like,
And I
dude,
don't
I
know if
don't
that's some
speak
sort
that
of
eloquently. You know what I mean? And if you do, you're a total asshole. So I'm sure it's a fucking AI. You know what I mean?
I'm like, if you can't talk about your own band for a paragraph just to
It's
highlight
hard.
what your music is about, then that's just
Yeah.
lazy, surely.
I just think that the overall reason why a lot of people play music, when we wanted to start playing our music, there wasn't bands that were like all these bands that were from our like genre and touring the world yet, and there wasn't satellite radio, and there wasn't like those things. So our aspirations were just a little simpler. Our aspirations was, hey, what are you doing this summer? Cool, let's go get in a fucking van and just like go play shows on floors places. You know what I mean? The adventure of the art and the fucking discovery and just the journey was what we wanted. We just wanted to have the opportunity to leave our house. I think bands, when they start now, they see what bands like us sort of created in the heavier world. Like, you know, and we're part of it. We're part of a lot of other bands, but bands like Killswitch and Shadows Fall and Hatebreed and all these bands, like they brought bands like us up to like more of like a level of like doing like big festivals and bigger shows. So kids coming up would see us playing those and be like, I want to start a band because I want to play on these stages. So it's just a little bit different. You know what I mean? I think people just want to play this music now to become rock stars. I purely believe that. I think that, and this music for us was just initially brought forth a little bit differently. That wasn't like a thinking of anybody in my band. You know what I mean? Like, we just wanted to go play shows. It wasn't like we're going to be a fucking rock star and do signings and become like virally successful. Now that's available to bands and available to people, and the blueprint's been sort of laid out. So if they want to go for that, go for that. I couldn't say that if I was 22 years old, I would literally be trying to take over the world right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. So what would you say that your aspirations for the band are now? Obviously, they're going to be vastly different to what they were when you were paving the way for metalcore and
yeah,
your genre as a whole.
it's like a fucking circle. Let me give me a second. So
No problem.
it's like this. When we started in the beginning, it was about our friendship and playing this music together and being able to do things like this, like what we're doing right now. Somebody taking time out of their day to interview our band about us. Like, that is something so simple, but that is something that we're grateful for. And that is something, when we first started, that was and still is a fucking honor to be that. Okay. We've done fucking everything around the sun, around the moon, a million fucking times. We've gone through the stresses, we've rode the waves, we've taken time off, we've lost members. It's just been a shit show extravaganza, which most bands are. But we lived through that. And all of that other shit just stopped mattering. And now we're back to where we began. And the aspirations now are playing this music with some of the most important people in my life together, being able to travel the world still and play in front of, I mean, our fans are nuts. Like, they've never turned their back on us. We still, it's like they still just come to our fucking shows and give us everything they got. And the shows are just the same as they've always been, if not better, because I feel like the energy is better now, you know? And I think that's an opportunity. Getting to do interviews like this is an opportunity. That's what we're grateful for. This is all we want right now. The opportunity to still do this and share ourselves and share this music with people. That's it. And form relationships. Because how fucking rad is this? Like, just think about it. Like, you're in the UK and I'm right here in Huntington Beach, and I'm just like talking, we're just chatting it up. You know what I mean? The world is fucking
cool.
small, dude. Like, it's cool.
It's so cool. Well, for Mickey, certainly it's a dream come true. I know that. When did you see Bleeding Through, Mickey? I can't remember when you said you saw them.
So I've seen you guys. I want to say both times. It might have been more though, but both times that you've come over to the UK and you've played a little town called Swindon.
Oh yeah.
Played a little venue called the Furnace a couple times.
Yeah, dude.
Last time I think you were over for the Declaration tour. I was up there on the barrier, slapping you on the head, having
Yeah,
an amazing time. I ended up running that venue just based on those memories alone. Like that kept that place in
that's
such high
awesome.
regard
That
for me.
place was great. It was like had that like fence in front of the stage.
That's the one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely unique. Very awesome.
Is it?
We have great memories from that venue for sure.
So obviously you guys did Damnation last year.
Yeah,
As far as I'm aware, that was your only UK show. Are there
that
any?
was it.
Is there any
That
plans
was
to
it.
come back at any point soon?
Yeah, I don't want to like spoiler alert it, but the plans are to come back um about like September, October-ish. So I can't tell you who with, but it's some of our best friends, and we've done a lot of touring with them. So we're very happy to come back and do it with them again.
We'll absolutely
Love
keep our
things.
eyes open and make sure
Yeah.
there's at least a few members of Moshville
Yeah.
at
I
the
mean,
venue.
we've it's long overdue that we get back over there. We spent so much of our career over there that like we felt like we were in Europe more than anywhere else for a long time. And yeah, it's time. It's time to do this.
And
Well, that's exciting.
going back to one of the things you mentioned earlier about bands, people who get in bands now are kind of doing it just for the fame.
Yeah.
They're looking for that one viral moment that will just send them off into the
Yeah.
stratosphere. How does it feel for you guys looking back at doing that almost accidentally with the van crash all those years ago?
God.
Because I know obviously it's not something you want to talk about too much, but
No,
that
I could look back and laugh because we're all alive and shit, but like we definitely were like, just think about this though. I've had a conversation about this recently that like that was like an actual viral moment, like a pre social media viral fucking moment. Like there was like Facebook and MySpace then, but like there wasn't. And I'm thinking, I'm like, think how crazy viral that would be now if like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook had fucking like apps and shit. Like that would have been nuts. That was crazy. Uh, not what you want to be remembered for, but like I said, everybody lived and everything's fine, and so that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like it's just different, like you kind of strike lightning in a bottle a little in different ways now. Like back when we started doing this, it was just like you had to just play in front of as many people as you possibly could, as many shows, and just get out there and fucking do it. And now it's like if you could do a viral something, you're automatically going to your traction's going to be different. It's a completely different thing. It's like for bands like our age, and I talk with other bands about it. It's like we don't have the energy to put, and I'm going to say this lightly, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but like some of the shit you see is so fucking corny that you just can't even deal with it. And we don't have the energy to do that. Like, it's like, we're not shooting for that, and we're not willing to sacrifice integrity to get there. You know what I mean?
not going to get bleeding through TikTok dances anytime soon.
No. We should though, because Marta she could dance her ass off. So fuck.
Just another talent to add to her long
Yeah.
list of. I was seeing some of the photos from the Rise Above, right? Yeah, Rise Above Fitness.
Yeah.
And one I have a question. What is the dog's name?
Gibson.
He's Gibson. Oh, that's
He's
amazing.
Gibson.
Can you tell him I love him?
Oh yeah. He's the favorite, man. He's just a little fucker.
He's
Yeah.
gorgeous and I love him.
Yeah.
He's got the best face. And two, how do you feel that does the fitness stuff and the metal stuff kind of go hand in hand? With
I think so. For me it does.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just kind of like I need chaos in my life and intensity. Like I need that, but I also need moments of peace. And I think the balance of like fitness brings that sort of like intensity in my life, and it keeps me mentally kind of focused and on schedule. But with that, I've always seen, as far as like bleeding through goes, like we touched on this a little earlier when talked about like bands that are like out of shape. Like I train for this shit. Like I train to get up on that stage. So every time I fucking take the stage, people that are there aren't like bummed out. because I want to be able to perform as long as I can do at the same level that I always have or better, you know? So for me, it's more like, yeah, just, it goes hand in hand. It's just a certain, I get so much out of it. You know what I mean? Music gives me a lot. This gives me a lot. It introduces discipline, which you have to have in music as well. But I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, pretty much everybody in Bleeding Through is in better shape than they've ever been. And everybody works out every day. It's kind of cool.
That's so awesome. I love
Yeah.
seeing the lifting pictures and things like that. What advice would you have for me as aspiring muscle mummy?
Yeah. That's cool. I mean,
Starting from zero, I've just lost over the last couple of years, I've lost about 70 pounds. So
oh,
I
wow.
was, yeah. So I was trying to get to
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much. I was trying to get to a weight where I was comfortable with then building muscle on top of it, which I
Yeah.
am now at.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your biggest bit of
But
advice from someone starting from zero?
I would say this,
Well, not zero, but
you know, you've lost some weight, so your diet's definitely improved, correct?
mm,
Yeah. So your diet's good. Maybe kind of reevaluate your diet a little bit and see where some deficiencies lie, see how much protein you're getting during the day. A lot of people are so down on are lacking what you actually need to eat protein wise to build muscle. And for you, how old are you? Sorry, I don't want to blast you out on your
33.
show. You're what?
33.
Dude, you're in your prime. Okay, this is perfect. All right. So, um, like when it comes to someone, if you were my client, I would basically try to build muscle in your body. So I would do more just compound lifts and basic isolation lifts for body parts. I wouldn't
Sure.
necessarily get into more of the functional stuff, I don't know, burpees and fucking all that kind of stuff. That's all cardio stuff. But for you, you're at a point right now where you need to build as much muscle in your body so you could burn more fat. And sometimes
Sure.
if you just keep doing cardio, that's not really going to build the muscle. And I think the biggest misconception is that you got to do cardio to lose weight, but you actually need to put muscle on to basically burn more fat, and it just accelerates it even more. So I would say stick to basic lifts, stick to a couple body parts a day, do muscle building things like isolation work on muscles.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Eat protein.
That's really, really helpful because, as you say, with the fakeness of everything online, it's really difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff when it comes to actual fitness advice at the moment. It's really difficult to discern what is actually going to help and what isn't.
Well, it's funny too, I'm around it all the time, and you go on Instagram and you see a female, like a woman working out, and you're kind of just you naturally look like that, and you're trying to tell people to look like this, and it's there's certain people that look at you that are dude, what, you know what I mean? It's there's just too much confusing out there, so much misinformation. Everybody knows the best, and it sucks for someone like me that actually is dedicated 15 years to this thing to be sort of out kind of dueled by someone that has no idea what they're talking about, but because they think they look good, that they can tell people how to look good. And it's so much more than that. Everybody's case is completely individual. You know what I mean? Everybody has different ways. People have injury ailments and fucking, all that shit, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I can't do cardio. It sucks so much.
Just go on a walk for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah,
You're good.
that's all I started doing is I started doing hour-long walks, and fell
That's
right
cool.
off and cut sugar.
Cool.
Yeah, it's all good. Mickey, do you want to have a go?
Yes, so kind of sticking almost with the fitness kind of thing. Obviously, it's quite well known. You were kind of one of the kind of outspoken originators, as such, of the straight edge movement.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know as much as far as I'm aware, you're not now, but you were for 20
I am
years. Was there any big reasoning behind kind of leaving that part behind you, or was it just a natural thing of I'm ready to do that now?
It was just one of those things where I don't want to ever try to talk myself into being something. You know what I mean? I want to believe it and I want to be behind it. at a certain point, I got a point in my life where I just didn't find it be part of my life plan anymore. Like I started asking myself, like, you know, why not? You know what I mean? Like, just I understand, like, it just became it became too much like second nature in my life, where I felt like, not like I was missing out, I could care less, like I'm not like a big partier now, but it's just like, if I want to have like a beer with a couple friends, then I'm gonna fucking do that. You know what I mean? And it just was something I just didn't really. I believe in it for people. Like, if it works for people, cool. But for me, I was just not wanting to do it anymore. Like, it's kind of a simple answer.
I understand that.
Yeah. In which case, I'll move on to my next question then, because
Yeah.
as you said, that was a much simpler answer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
In which case, slightly easier one then. You've started having guest vocalists back on your albums. Is there anybody that you have in mind for a potential future feature on a future album, or is there anyone out there that you would want to do a feature with at all?
I've started sort of collecting ideas for people. There was a few people that were pretty like kind of bummed out that I didn't ask them to be on this record. I can't give it away because it's like, one is for like in the future, like I won't give it away, but like one is pretty massive. And it's kind of it's insane that they actually want to do it with us. And I can't give it up, but it's gonna be like, holy fuck. Yeah.
One track I always show people whenever I'm bringing you up, kind of showing you guys, is is it Savior Saint Salvation?
Salvation,
the one,
yeah.
the one the guys did with the
with
Revenge
Matt,
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
How did that originally come around? Was it just you guys? Obviously, you come up in the same area. Was it
Yeah,
just
I mean,
that?
we've been really close with that band for our whole career. Like, some of our first tours were with them. Some of our first tours were us taking them on tour with. I've it's in Matt. I'm at my gym right now, and Matt just left the gym. Like, I see him every day still. So he comes in. I train him every day at my gym, and we're still really close. So back then, though, it was more just like, hey, dude, you want to like sing on a record? And he's just like, sure. And I know now he hates singing on records. Like, he just doesn't. He's like, dude, I don't want to sing on anybody's record. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Do what you do, Matt. But yeah, those. I kind of shied away from it for a few records of not having really anybody guest on it, but I don't really know why. I think that's always been really cool. I've just been, I feel like now it's more like, kind of goes back to just being more okay with yourself. And I feel like, for us, it's like, we're so just like back to where we started. So why not just ask your friends to be on your records? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a really cool thing. That was something that I always used to like, you know what I mean? So yeah, having Brian and and Andrew and Doc on the new record was really fucking cool, man. Like, having Brian Fair on it was like, dude, come on, that's so sick.
Fantastic. Again, top to bottom, it's completely just fucking fantastic. As you say, it doesn't sound like you guys have missed a beat
No.
in the last 10, 15 years or so. It's still just perfect stuff.
Honestly, I say it and I mean it. Like, I just think we got better. Whereas maybe it's just a competitive nature in us. Also, it's like we've never really tried to like do anything that just wasn't us, And I think that's even settled in a little bit more. And I knew from the first song that was written for this record, I'm like, dude, this is it. Like, this is what we've been like wanting to put out. Like, to me, it's the same kind of vibe as Declaration to me. I think mentality wise, we have the same mentality wise with it too. Like, and this isn't like me talking shit on anybody. I'm a big fan of music. I love new bands. I'm not the old guy that's like, oh, fuck, Slaughter to Prevail, fuck that band. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? I listen to music because if it's good, it's fucking good. I don't care about anything else. Like, it's cool. But with Declaration, we were pissed off at the world for other reasons. Like, our label was fucking us. Like, it was a weird transitional time around 2007, 2008, when like internet bands and MySpace bands and Instagram bands were getting massive. You know what I mean? Wait, I shouldn't say Instagram, that wasn't around. Facebook, whatever the fuck. Who fucking cares? But anyway, it was a big transition time. And we went into Write Declaration with everybody thinking that this was gonna be our Avenged Sevenfold Atreyu moment. We're gonna write this rock and roll record and fucking start playing stadiums and blah 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 blah. And we're like, fuck you. Like, we're gonna put out Declaration, which is gonna be like a proggy black metal hardcore record. And because we went in the studio and it was just like, fuck everybody. And this record, it wasn't like in a negative sense of like being mad at anything else, but we took it really serious that we wanted not only to show that we're not just coming back to play fucking reunions of records and live in nostalgia. We want to put a stamp on this band moving to the future. So we went into the studio and started writing this record with like that mentality, like, fuck everybody. Like, we're gonna fucking write this record, and if people don't like it, they're trying not to like it. You know what I mean? That's how we felt Declaration. Oh, you don't like Declaration? Well, you're trying not to, because how, if you listen to fucking anything heavy, do you not like that? You know what I mean? Oh, it's too aggressive for you? Oh, bummer, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so with this record, it's just same kind of approach. And that might come across like a little bit arrogant, but I'm a little bit arrogant about this band. Like, I've firmly, solely believe that we are at a level now that I have such confidence in us, and I'm so proud of us to be here, that we are fully like, probably like the most like linked in and locked in we've ever been. And that's,
I think you have
there's a lot of bands that have been around that long that can't say that. And it's not like we only do this. Like, all of us have separate careers where it takes our time every day. And it's like, we still have the ability to lock it in. And I'm just really fucking proud of us for that. I'm giving ourselves a pat on the back. And I thank you for it. The thing is too, like, this record, we thought about our fans. We thought about the people that like fucking support us. Like, there was no way we were going into the studio and putting a fucking record out that was going to bum out the fucking loyal fan base that we fucking have. That's been loyal from like day fucking one, you know? And like, we wanted to write them a fucking record to where they could be like, motherfucker, have you heard the new Bleeding Through record? You know what I mean? Oh, Brand of Sacrifice? Oh, fuck, have you heard this Bleeding Through record? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I have said
know.
those exact words before, like in the last few weeks. I was like, Bleeding Through, look at it.
But
I show you.
and that brings us
You're
a lot
going to
of
listen
pride
to the
too.
whole thing.
Yeah, and that brings us pride too. Like, we see our fan base and as like family. Like, we always have, and we try to make that more known now because there's just more outlets to let them know that. And yeah, it was really important. That's like, it was important for us to put this record out and have it be something to where like another ident, like the identity is further being created, you know, is adding on to the identity of like what we've been doing for 25 years and the fans that have supported us for that long.
It's just excellent. As I say, I am showing absolutely everybody that will listen to me.
Yeah.
It's a very, very easy one to promote because it just speaks for itself. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Sorry, bear with me because I can't read my own writing. I'm just jotting notes down as well so that I can keep track of it. It's the ADHD, I'm afraid.
I tell you what, while Hannah's digging one more up, keeping still on the fans, because you've always been quite outspoken about your fans. You're always very open about giving fans a bit of time. What would you say have been like the weirdest fan experience you've had in the last 25 years or so? Like the weirdest and then say the most wholesome as well, possibly. What are two that kind
probably
of
the weirdest I probably shouldn't say. But
weirdest but legal.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, people bring weird stuff for us to sign, like car mufflers before babies. And like, people bring their babies to our show, and like, it's like we sign up their baby and then they hand their baby off to someone else and then they go back home and the parents say it's weird. I don't know, man. Like off the top of my head, like I really can't think of anything that's like so weird. Like I don't know, man. I hate to disappoint you on that one. Nothing's coming to mind.
Well, in which case,
I'm
I'll pass you
surprised
back to
at us
Hannah.
as a fan base. I
Yeah,
said I'm surprised at us as a fan base that we haven't been more strange, to be honest.
yeah, I know. It's been pretty respectful.
There's quite a heavy feature of Marta's vocals in this record as well, which
Mm.
is always nice to hear because she's got an incredible range. Was she classically trained or anything? Because it's really, really good. Just was she just that good?
I think it's just what came out of her. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's something that we kind of dabbled in like a little bit here and there, but never really fully committed to it. Um, this record was a big commitment to like Marta. It was a big Marta record. To me, this is the most, she is the star of this record, like straight up. And I'm so okay with that. Like, um, she's, we have always been very, very like big on like, empowering women in our type of music. And it's awesome to see now it's taken totally different shape and it's fucking awesome. And I just, for me personally, I never thought she got the credit that she deserved because she's stuck behind a keyboard. But let me tell you, man, when we were doing this in the beginning, there was maybe 4 females in bands. Like they did not exist. And she had to endure a lot, like bias towards women. The people didn't even know how to treat women on stage. Like you don't dare go to a show now and fucking start heckling a fucking woman on stage. But she would get heckled a lot, and it was hard. And
Jesus.
she would go to venues, and people wouldn't let her in the door because they thought you couldn't possibly be in the band. Like shit like that, crazy. So we really decided that to put her in the forefront. Like we wanted this record to be a lot of her, and she was prepared and had amazing ideas, and she stepped up, you know what I mean? And we just overall just like the keyboards and music that she was writing to go along with this record are just fuck, it's crazy, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, not even not even just the vocals. It's
Yeah. And like too,
the
like
keys as well.
I want her to be like another front person of this band. She deserves that. And she's talented for that. And it's gives me a little bit of a break, which would be fucking awesome. So like yeah, like you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for keys players anyway,
Yeah,
but she's just on another level. It's really, really good to see that like support and pride in her
totally.
almost. It's really good. I really love that.
Yeah.
Um, what inspired the artwork for Nine, the crossroads and the flames?
Well, in simple, like first off, I wanted to put a record out that people think about when they look at. Like, what the fuck
Mm,
does this mean? And I think it does that.
yeah.
um, so like one of the answers I've never even like actually said this. I go to therapy. So like one time in a therapy session, my therapist asked me, like, what do you think about? Like, what are you thinking about currently when you're closing your eyes? Okay, so close my eyes, whatever. And I'm like, he's like, think about your life, think about how sometimes you feel. And I said to myself, I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm like walking alone in space and isolated. And I constantly have this decision and being pulled back and forth like all day long. But it's an isolating feeling having to battle that in your head. And people don't know that's going on. It's very isolating. You feel alone. Even though you're really not, there's a lot more people that battle with things like in general anyway. But it's very isolating. And to me, that's like what I was thinking of. So when it came time for the theme of the record, how it deals with, mental health a lot, um, and sort of choices that you make through your day, the battle of good and evil, the battle of doing what's right and doing what's wrong, and destructive behavior, and you know what I mean? Like good behavior. And that's what it being bipolar myself, like that's what I deal with every day. And so maybe selfishly I put on the cover that's what I deal with every day. You know what I mean? But it's not just me. That just describes a feeling, and other people deal with that same thing. So it's sort of like I want people to think about it, and I want people that do struggle mentally to think about that and almost like see how it makes them feel. Because I know a lot of people, that's how they feel too. They feel lost and isolated, and constantly challenged every day.
It's so lovely that you do the work, you do the fitness, you do the therapy, the all of this is so woven into the music and,
Yeah,
as you said, the artwork and stuff. It's really, really interesting and deep to find this out because, yeah, a lot of people struggle with mental health issues, and
for sure.
to reach
I
out
mean, it's
to
becoming more
your
apparent
fans
in
like that
music
is nice.
now. In music now,
Mm,
it's no surprise. I mean, we're all fucked in the head. That's why we play this fucking music.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're not working at a bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. Like, people are screaming into microphones. If you think you do not have something wrong in your head, then you're fucking crazy. You're crazier than you actually think you are. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. We're all fucked up. But it's beautiful, man. Like,
Yeah,
really, like,
we
how
can all be
awesome
fucked
is
up
the
together.
fact that we have this community of like this music, right? And there's like if you have nowhere to go, you have somewhere to go because there's some gathering of these shows, and just it's like we all know a secret and we all have each other. It's fucking awesome, man.
It's Yeah, it's certainly something that's always helped me is the sense of community around this genre of music. And I mean, like the guys that I work with on Moshville,
Yeah,
they're like another family to me.
yeah.
It's just wonderful, and yeah, we're
It's
all
like
tied together by that love of
I never
music.
saw it that way until recently. I never felt like it's weird. Like I always felt somewhat detached, like we were almost like two on our own little thing with our people. But really, it's like all of us. Like just I remember I started feeling like this, like especially like so we played this thing called Headbangers Boat with Lamb of God. It's like a 5-day cruise with like metal bands on it, which is just like what world do we live in that we did that, which was just nuts. But we did it. And I remember just being on stage and I was like said to the crowd, I'm like, dude, like how awesome that we fucking have this. How awesome that we have each other. Like, I don't know you, I don't know you, but right now we have each other and we're fucking spending this time together and there's a connection. And that's shit that like that gets people through life. That's why this music, it's like people a lot the normal person will understand like how this fucked up music can get people through their days, but it makes them feel less alone through their days because that's like their thing. You know what I mean? And we could all like dump our emotion into it and get the best out of it. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
super
that's
positive.
beautiful. No,
I'm
no,
way too
that's
positive for
beautiful.
metal. If I was a little
No, I
bit
love
more
it.
negative and talked a little bit more shit, my band would probably be bigger. But I like being positive.
You got to say something controversial just to make the news.
Yeah.
Like I went on a full-on rant about Nando's and I still haven't been cancelled, so
I mean, I think it's overrated as fuck.
it absolutely is. It's just chicken, and you can get better chicken. In fact,
It's
sorry, I
chicken and
won't start.
sauce.
It is chicken and sauce. Arguably the worst sauce, and it's usually burnt. Sorry, no, I need to not do this because I will go for minutes at a time.
It's cool. We'll leave Nando's behind.
On that note,
Mickey, have you got anything to add?
yeah. On that note, as somebody who's very well experienced in touring, you're obviously into your fitness and everything
Yeah.
else as well. What kind of stuff do you guys eat on when you guys are touring around? Because I imagine you don't get your right amount of chicken, rice, and whatever else your kind of
I
diet
mean,
is.
no, it's pretty difficult, but like you can always find I think on tour a lot of people don't eat enough. You know what I mean? So that's where my problem is. I don't eat enough on tour. But I mean, you could it's an easier job like finding stuff. Like even like we're talking about Nando's. Like Nando's is like a go-to. As much as I don't really like it, it's around enough spots. You could eat clean and just try to eat clean as possible. It's easier in Europe because food is a lot cleaner there than it is here. Our food is junk. So here it's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. You could think you're eating healthy, but who knows what's in anything. So it takes commitment though. And I'll be honest, like at the end of a fucking show, when you're backstage and you're just like starving and there's just pizza everywhere, fuck, you want to eat that shit. you know?
It's got all the bad things on it, isn't it? It's
It
got bread,
does.
it's got cheese, it's got tomatoes if you have any inflammatory issues. It's all
So
the
like
worst
I'll get
foods on one.
acid reflux from the tomatoes
Yeah.
and just fucking, yeah, no thanks. It takes a little bit of dedication. It takes, with your diet, it just takes a little bit more dedication to it, and a little bit more, pay more peace of mind to making better decisions. Like when we go to Europe, we always just, I typically grocery shop. I'll typically just go to the grocery store and buy like essentials. Yeah, like Tesco's are dope. Tesco's are the best because they have like the ready to eat section, and that's the best. Go to one of those, it's cheaper and the food's better.
You need to avoid Asda's because they're owned by Walmart anyway.
Yeah, are they really?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, that sucks. America strikes again, guys.
But we love a Tesco's. We're a big fan of Tesco's.
Yeah.
That was literally, I was about to ask what your favorite chain of food shops was when you come
Dude,
here, and you did it
Tesco's.
before. You did it for me. You
We're like
got your
local.
club
So
card.
when we were going to Europe like a lot, especially London, like we would always go to London a little bit early because Marta and I had to do press for a couple days. And when our bus would always park in this underground parking structure at a Tesco in the city, like in like Hammerstein maybe area. The fuck is going on? Oh, hold on. Somebody came in the office. Oh, other office in the drawer. Pull that drawer out. Sorry. Is Lindsay here still? Okay. All right, back. I'm at work, so some people are gonna come in sometimes. But yeah,
okay.
so like we've been to that Tesco probably like 12 times, so we're like locals there. It's awesome.
Yeah, as I say, get yourself a club card, get yourself on the deals. I don't know if I have all that much left to ask you. How long have
That's
you
cool.
got to give us? Because we
What
can.
time we got? How long
Yeah,
have we done this?
it's about an hour.
Oh shit, I probably gotta wrap it up.
They
Yeah,
were at
probably.
54 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I have another
Yeah,
client
should be fine.
starting in like 2 minutes.
Whoop.
Sorry.
It
No,
was-
I mean he can wait a couple minutes, but like yeah, let's,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been really,
No
really
worries.
interesting to find out the inner workings of it all, and I'm just so happy for you that it's
Thank
all
you.
going so well. Because
I'm
yeah,
happy for
it
you,
was.
man. You get to do this fucking cool radio shit, man. That's like
Thank
awesome.
you.
Like be proud of that. Be proud of like building this shit and putting yourself out there in the fucking world, because a lot of people don't.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, man. That's awesome. Thank you again for
Yeah.
for taking the time out. I know I'm just repeating what Hannah said, but yeah, thank you, man. It's so fucking cool
We'll
to
see you
chat
guys
to you.
in
It's so
September,
cool.
October.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be there,
Got it.
100%.
Yeah. And just stay in touch, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Have a good
All right.
rest of
Take
your
care.
day.